Good evening. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hyped or Humbled. You can see it's just, not just me. I'm joined by a guest, but no Vic this week. I can't remember what he's doing. He did tell me. I don't know, painting a fence or something. So I'm joined by Jord or Jordan, whatever you want to call him. So Jordan's from the Elite Fives. I don't know, setup, crew, management.
Tournament. Yeah, we can go
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah. And we're going to have a conversation about that today. And obviously, as always, we've got I'll just post the link in the chat so you guys can see it. There's a link that you can click on and join us. So you'll join in like a green room, then I'll bring you in, or you can scan the QR code up there, and come and ask questions as well. Should be quite interesting. Just chatting very briefly to Jordan before we went live, and it's pretty much no holds barred. So that's quite cool. We can just sort of talk quite openly about the conception, success so far, because I think you can measure some successes you guys have had, even though it hasn't happened yet.
Christ, sort of, yeah.
So welcome, Jordan. I I will. I always like to disclose if I have an existing relationship with people that we have on any like podcast or anything. So Jordan and I are former teammates. I don't even know how long ago that was.
Would have been like 2013 or 14.
Yeah, something
Final
like that.
first
A while
senior
ago.
side I ever played at, and I started playing in 2013. So
Mm.
yeah, it would have been the summer of 2014. I don't even know what the
Probably
division stuff
it's probably
looked
one of
like.
the most
And
enjoyable periods of American football for me was those couple seasons where we had it was like Div 2 in the nights where we got knocked down and we were going back up again, and it was
yeah, we had
it
like
was
David
fun.
Azignon playing for some reason in
Hey,
Div 2. We had like David Azignon playing for some
yeah,
reason.
yeah. That
Like
was his first year.
animals. Yeah.
That was his first year. Yeah. We used to call him Beast, didn't we? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, he
Beast was his
fucking
nickname
was.
at the night.
Yeah.
He started off as a D lineman, didn't he? And then yeah. What a lovely dude as well. And then he went on and played for like the Surrey Stingers, I think, because I remember going to watch him.
Surrey, and then he ended up going to the Warriors, and then
That's right.
I have no idea how many
As
years
did
he did with
you.
the Warriors before he ran off. Yeah, well, it's a natural pathway apparently. Seems to be a few,
Yeah.
few of us seem to go over that way. Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a few that have done that, taken that route. So Jordan and I would say semi-regularly stay in contact. Tend to chat quite a bit about stuff, and
Mm.
this is why I actually didn't want to do this live stream or this, I suppose, interview or conversation. I wanted the naivety and the lack of knowledge on the subject that had left, therefore curiosity that Vic would have
Mm.
brought, to have a bit more of an organic conversation. But there's still stuff I don't know about, and you can tell us about. But yeah, so I just want to again sort of like get that out there so people know, before we get going. Um, yeah, do you want to just quickly introduce yourself, Jordan?
Yeah, I guess so. So like I don't know if I'm someone that's relatively known or not. Apparently I am. I found this out the other day, but that's news to me. But I've been around the sport for quite a while. So
Mm.
I started playing back at uni in 2013. That
Gloucester.
was kind of, yeah, Gloucester Uni, the mighty Gloucester Uni. I had sort of my first ever coach was James Wilford, who's gone on and done a
Oh,
fair
was it
bit with the,
Will?
yeah,
No,
Will James
you
Wilford
guys
was
look
my,
alike.
I was told this fucking back then as well. Um,
You do.
someone did like their
I've
coaching
never made the
qualification with
connection
him, yeah,
before.
and they were like, "You look a bit like him," you know. So, fair enough. Yeah. But either way, so like Wilford was my first ever DB coach. I can't remember who else was involved back then, to be
Mm,
honest. But I didn't really know what was going on just the first year. Really fell in love with the sport straight away.
mm,
Absolutely loved that you can tie in all the Jimmy elements to it. Love the tactics. And to be honest, like I played so much sport growing up. I've done literally everything from martial arts, cricket, rugby, soccer, tennis, badminton, it's like literally fucking everything. But
Hmm.
something about football just really clicked with me. I really liked it.
Yeah.
So dove head first. I went to Farnham when I went back home for that summer. Then Gloucester, went to Aztecs because I stay up in Cheltenham,
That's
went
what I
there
remember
for
you
a few
playing for.
years. When I moved back after uni, went back to Farnham for one more year. And the club was in a little bit of a shaky spot and it just wasn't really giving me what I wanted. So went off to the Warriors in maybe 2017, which I think was the year after I think they got knocked out in the semis by Tamworth that year. I went the year after that, which is the
That's right.
first
Yeah.
year we won it back. Yeah. And then from there, I think I've got maybe 3 rings as a player, 1 as a coach because I've been doing the women's team as well. I've been coaching sort of a fair bit with the Kings, Raw Holloway. I've done a lot, Warriors women, and then I've helped out sort of every now and then with junior, but I just don't really have the time for it. So I've done a fair bit, and I've done sort of the ringer around GB for a couple of cycles and stuff like that as well. So
Yeah.
I've been around a lot, and I guess as we kind of get into like that E5s conversation, that's sort of one of the reasons that I really liked this idea when it was sort of first pitched to me. So E5s was never actually my idea. I've kind of de facto become the face of it, I think. And mainly it's because I end up using my personal Instagram to go and speak to people just because it's like easier to follow people through a person rather than just like a random sort of business account and stuff like that. And then also because we now have 4 people that are on that account, it just saves everyone's phone going absolute fucking mental 24/7. So I just take that on the chin. So it's interesting. Like a lot of people seem to think I actually run this independently, but and I guess maybe you have the same thing with Sport Ank, right? Where
Yeah.
people know of Steve
Got a
Price.
team of around 20, but yeah, everyone thinks it's
Yeah,
me. Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's funny.
yeah. So
Yeah.
but it's really not the case at all. Like we ironically have Rose Wilford. So
Oh, right. You look like
yeah,
her
my
too.
sister, yeah,
By
my
default.
my fake sister, which weirdly also I've actually been her coach. So her
Yeah.
brother
Yeah. Of
was my
course. Yeah.
coach. So we keep it in the family, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so yeah,
You'll have
like
Ken inviting you around for Christmas dinner soon.
lovely. I bet it's cracking. But either way, so like she's been brought on to handle like our social media. We just
Right.
have she does a lot of stuff around the community. She does loads of it for different clubs and stuff, and it was just kind of a no-brainer to get her involved, really.
Hmm.
There's so much to do with this damn thing that we just had to find somebody that we could help, that we actually like knew and trusted wouldn't fuck stuff up. And to be honest, even when you're having like the internal conversations that you'd prefer stay internal, you can actually like trust someone to share what's meant to be shared, and then the other stuff where we're having a bit of a domestic about how things are done,
Yeah.
she'll just zip and she knows like when it's kind of public information. So she's been a lifesaver to bring on, to be honest. And I think it maybe took us about a month of existing before we realized there was just too much work for us to handle, and then we kind of got her involved. But the leading up to sort of like the month before that, it was just myself, Josh Proud, who he's been around. He was sort of involved in like Kent Exiles in the youth program. I don't know if he ever coached there, but he went up to sort of like Blitz under 19s, might have done a bit of Blitz senior, and then I think he stepped away for a bit, focused on his YouTube channel. So he actually runs a massive YouTube channel called Thinking Football.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've ever sent you this before, but it's actually the second biggest NFL YouTube channel that exists. The only like outside of the actual NFL, like that's separate. In terms of like content creators that are NFL content creators, it's Brett Coleman, then Josh,
Right.
which is more like Thinking Football because he does it with a few other people, which is pretty crazy. And he's it was his idea originally, and he's like a really entrepreneurial guy.
Right.
He's one of these blokes that has probably like 500 ideas, and he knows that one of them will stick. It's just about like what gets the traction, what goes, what's actually going to work. And he pretty much pitched this to me pretty much over a pint, to be honest. Like it was all great ideas. We're just having a sit down, having a chat, and I think because he's now over at the Warriors with me, I think we just had a game where it was just borderline pointless, where we knew the result before it started. It might
Mm.
have been like the return fixture of someone we'd beaten quite comfortably at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And we're just like, what's the fucking point? Like, they don't want to be here because they're going to be on the end of a battering. And I've been on those as well. Like, Christ alive, in that Farnham year, we were 1-9 or something like that. Like, I got the batterings from the Warriors. It happens, you know. You're going when you're in a small club versus like this big London Titan where people travel from a metropolis of like 12 million people to go to. So it's not easy, and there's sometimes, no matter how good your coaches are, you can't do anything about it, right? But having seen like these kind of batterings and stuff like that, it's not fun for the players on either side, because we have to then prep for something that's not really at the level that you really want. They then have to prep for something that they know isn't necessarily going to be competitive.
Mm.
And like, if sport's not competitive, it's just not fun. Like, nobody wants to go and watch, like, if you drop not that it's the same level, but if you drop like Man City into the Championship or something like that, they would hammer everyone like 5-0, and like, you just be like, who cares?
Yeah.
You don't want to go pay, you don't want to go watch those games. It doesn't make for interesting viewing. But pretty much every team we go and play, and this is part of the kind of like the stuff I've seen through GB as well. Like, you go anywhere around the country and you will see the most guys from like the most random clubs are just randomly shit hot,
Yeah.
really good athletes,
true.
really good at football.
Yeah.
Like, I try and like pluck out random names, but I think like who's the linebacker coach for GB? It might be like Alistair Jarvis or something like that. But I swear he played for Shropshire Revolution for like his whole career.
Mm.
I think it was Alistair Jarvis. And forgive me if I've got that name wrong, but like, the guy was a fucking baller. He went out, he had, I don't know how many caps he's had for GB, shitloads of reps, very good player, but I don't know if he ever actually left Shropshire. And so you've suddenly got all these like top players that could just be from middle of fuck nowhere in Wales, so they can't get to somewhere,
Yeah.
or I don't know, like Cornwall, Somerset, like all of these places that are basically too far away to get to the team that's going to be like the team that year.
Mm.
Consistently, we're looking at kind of like Warriors, Bristol, Blitz, Manchester, Tamworth, now Coventry.
Yeah.
And then like Edinburgh had a good year the other year.
Yeah, it's probably now East Kilbride,
the Scottish team, right? Whoever it might be, and actually, to be fair, Newcastle as well. Actually, Newcastle were pretty good.
Yeah, they had a bit of a dip this year, but they were doing really well, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, which is a shame, but that's football, really. You know, it's tough to hold on to people. You climb, and then your core of people retire at the same time, and it becomes quite tough. But we basically saw that there were pockets of just talent absolutely everywhere. And then we also kind of saw that, based on just the game format we play, where you've got 11 people on field, I personally think 15-minute quarters for brick ball is actually too much. I think because then squad depth plays a bigger part in not only the whole season, but also just that game. Because people get tired by the third or fourth, the standard then drops off. And if you've got, you know, somebody on the bench of London Blitz that would easily go start for, I don't know, any other team. I'm not going to pick someone out because it seems a bit rude. But if like your Blitz backup receiver would go start for another team, and then fourth quarter that guy comes in when like the other guy's absolutely fucked, it's like, it's all like, again, it's you're just battering people down with like catchment area squad size, and it's just not good for anyone. It doesn't help how competitive stuff is. So we basically had the idea that actually every team kind of has, like, if they put their best 5 to 6 guys on field, maybe probably more like 7, do that on both sides, and actually it's probably quite competitive, or it's certainly a lot better than it is right now. So that was kind of our idea. We quite like that Arena Ball sort of has like a different element of the game, stuff like that. We've seen, even it sounds silly, like 37U and stuff has gone absolutely crazy, and like that, the standard of football over there is diabolical, but it's like, it's something just a bit different that's really marketable. So we've been like playing around with it. We know like Arena Ball has done well. We've seen even like small-sided stuff in the UK has done well. So like that Ballers League, for anyone that knows what that is, I hadn't heard of it, but it's this is maybe where Josh got the idea from. The Ballers League
a few years ago,
soccer.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
I didn't know much about it. It sort of passed me by somehow. But yeah, it was. I know a lot of people have sort of compared.
Yeah, and it's
ideas for smaller side leagues
Mm.
to this Ballers League. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know enough about it to really speak about, like, why has it stopped? What went wrong?
Yeah,
Um,
it's still going. It's still going.
oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. See, that's how much I know about it.
No, I hadn't heard of it either, but it's really like big. A lot of YouTubers involved. You end up like KSI and people like that end up doing it.
Hmm.
But like I went to watch one of the final in Wembley or whatever it was in Wembley because weirdly like you get like those stadium announcers that like
Yeah.
have like a microphone, they're like commentating on the whole thing. The guy that actually does the emceeing for Ballers League is one of Josh's mates, so he's actually going to do it for us, provided he doesn't get any work, which is kind of funny. So we've got like a legit professional, and we need to just make sure he doesn't get books up because obviously we don't have the budget to pay the guy. But in terms
Yeah.
of like general atmosphere, yeah, like pot luck, but it's gone really, really well. And like, I think they've even got like an ice hockey thing or something like that that's going on Bristol way that's doing really well. So like
Right.
this small-sided game format seems to be actually doing like fantastically. And for this exact reason, we really like the idea of it. The thing about like the one-day tournament, I think it's just a commitment issue. Like we know for a fact that if we tried to drop in a fives league out of nowhere, we would either end up like those geezers up north where, well, that guy ended up like fucking dying because it was really sketchy and dodgy. And it's also then it's completely outside of BAFA. People
Yeah.
were
Well,
roping in random rookies and stuff,
it's
which
interesting because
becomes really dodgy. Yeah.
I think that event has actually held back the sport and prevented people from doing smaller sided stuff that
Mm,
they did because of, just of how terrible, obviously, and tragic it was. So that's like you and I first started
mm,
talking about this. Um, I remember saying to, like, oh, I'm quite excited about it.
mm.
It's. I mean, I was excited about the 8v8 stuff. When that started happening, and unfortunately, because of poorly managed, it didn't go anywhere. But
Yeah, but
what
mm,
what I like, and obviously I know I sort of feel like I'm just repeating myself to you because you know this stuff. But what I like about your approach is that you're not going for a league, you're going for day tournaments,
yeah.
and also you're going for an elite. So just I really like the way you've articulated that because it sort of explains why you are going for like
Mm,
the top end players and why you do. And we haven't talked about the rules yet, but why you've got certain rules in place and timing and all
mm.
of that sort of stuff. And it I think I hope that BAFA have got eyes on this because, as I've said to you before, I believe that a league format of this could do really well as like, and it could be it could be something they run in the summer and the
Mm.
spring, however it gets run. But I think it could actually answer a lot of the could be the answer to a lot of the problems that we see with clubs not being able to get into the league,
Mm.
um, but also not able to stay in the league because of the high level of commitment involved. So there's a
Yeah,
lower level of
yeah.
commitment for this format, and but the Elite Five one I'm quite interested in because obviously,
Mm.
I mean, I've seen a lot of the player names that you've got that you've
Yeah, it's not been bad.
you got signed up. Yeah, we'll get to that. But so yeah, I'm definitely a big advocate of it, and I've even talked about it on this Hyped and Humbled. I think it's like
Mm.
the next big thing in Britball, as long as it gets adopted and endorsed and taken seriously.
Mm.
But that the league stuff aside, like just focusing on your day tournaments, I think that's really healthy for the sport.
Mm.
I remember and you'll have to correct me on the tagline, but it was something like the only paid American football event in the whole of the UK or something like that.
Something along those lines. It's Britball's first money tournament might be what
Yeah,
we've used, but yeah, we've had to be kind of like careful with the messaging.
yeah,
It's quite funny. So like we have had conversations with BAFA, which is interesting you've mentioned it, because we
yeah.
did kind of look at getting officially sanctioned under them, but
Mm.
like it's there's just such a cost associated with doing that, and a lot of hurdles you have to jump through. But the one thing I will say, I'll absolutely shout sort of and sing their praise to the hills. Like Joe Walker and Amanda McDonald,
Yeah.
unbelievably helpful on that BAFA board. Like, even though we've moved away and we've agreed we're not going to try and sanction it this time, mainly just for budgetary reasons and extra things. They've been so bloody helpful and willing to actually pitch in, give advice on like the way that they normally do things and stuff we have to consider, and like making sure we're like dotting all the I's and T's. Like, they've actually been brilliant. So it's kind of a shame we couldn't work it out and get a full agreement in place. But it's for this kind of like one-off tournament thing, they're fully able to kind of open the keys. We were sort of exploring like adding it to the BAFA calendar, getting them to advertise it, but
Yeah.
all of this stuff was kind of like on the table. So it's
Right.
we're only running like a 1 day event, and we don't have any sort of interest outside of running more than a few of these a year. Like,
Yeah.
the first one will be men's at the end of the season because the window just happens to work.
Yeah. What's the date? September
20th of September,
20th.
Saturday. So it's at Hertfordshire Cheetahs home
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah, great place to have it.
Absolutely perfect venue for it. I think we had like conversations about sort of like 4G versus grass.
Right. Yeah.
But because they're able to sort of paint the lines on the pitch completely fresh, we think that was actually like a really big thing for us. Because
Right.
if we have a 4G
Rather
pitch,
than like
we have,
lines of
like,
cones or something that you see in.
it just looks so shit.
Yeah,
It looks awful. Like, we kind of think that a lot of the commercials and the revenue and stuff from this will come from the content we film on the day and what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
So we have like a ridiculous amount of media people that are coming down. We have a proper media manager we brought on to handle kind of like the game day production element of stuff. And we're having meetings with him at the moment. But the guy's like a legit professional, just doing this to help out. He actually directed, I think he does like murder mystery documentaries on Netflix. Like, he's really legit. Yeah, it's really fucking random. I'll have to ask him what one it is, but I know he did one that I'd actually watched and had heard of that had done obviously really well. Yeah, I'd have to check in with him. But weird connection. He used to be involved in the Warriors, and I think he's Portsmouth, and I think he coached at Brunel now. Is Owen, his name is. So he's going to help out with a load of stuff. But when we stuck out a post the other day for like media applications, we had like 16 photographers apply, 16 videographers, multiple people with drones, and like legit people with drones.
Videographers and drones are starting to grow now. I'm seeing more and more of them at games. Really good. Unfortunately, we can't have drone footage when. Well, you can.
Yeah,
but BAFA won't allow drone footage during a game.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic. I don't think they understand.
So we spoke to him about it. So apparently you've got to be like 150 yards away from spectators. And unfortunately, so they perfectly, it's got to be sideways.
I've got a drone pilot's license, so I've done the courses and stuff.
Yeah.
If you've got a drone that's under 250 grams, which most people will have, I've got one.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about you do have to worry about crowds, but the rules are completely relaxed. Like, you don't have to you don't have to get permission to fly it as long as you take off from public, or if you take off from a private land that you've got permission for.
Right.
It's absolutely fine. So but they've written their rules on the big drones and the big drone rules. So someone's obviously gone on the CAA website, briefly read it and gone, oh yeah, it's 150 meters, and it's just like it's just like the blind making a policy that they don't on something they don't understand, rather than getting consulting with someone that does know. So you're just like, I can't be bothered with you. But we are seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of more pre-game drone footage, a little bit of post-game now, but
we're going to have in-game for us. That'll be pretty cool.
Them around. I haven't seen many outputs from those. That there have been a couple of things posted. Like Nottingham Gold posted a really good video, like documentary type video, this year. That's probably the main one that I can think of. But I've seen like Wembley Stallions have had one for the last 2 seasons, so maybe they'll wait, see if they've got that success this year that they've been looking for, and have like a 2 years worth one. But it's
Mhm.
it's cool to know, to hear that there's you're getting these people interested in
Loads,
tournaments.
absolutely loads. It's genuinely been probably the biggest surprise at how willing people are just to pitch in and help out with stuff.
Mm,
Like the photographers, videographers, the drone guys. We stuck a
mm.
post out just for volunteers the other day,
Yeah,
and we've had like 20 people just lob their email and phone number down just to be like, well, I don't want to ref, but I want to do like, anything, literally sit there and take tickets on the door,
yeah.
ball boy, run
Like a runner on the day or whatever. Yeah,
just anything like that. And look, we're going to give people kind of like a free ticket to come and help out if they do like a
yeah.
2-3 hours or something like that, just to say thank you. But it really does make a massive difference, like just the amount of stuff that piles up when you're running something like this. And you've got to bear in mind we're coordinating 8 teams, 128 players,
Mm.
however many spectators show up, and to be honest, we can't put a number on that at the moment.
Are you pre-selling tickets?
Yeah, we've got an Eventbrite link all set up. We haven't gone for like a hard plug of it yet, just because we're doing some media bits and some nice videos and stuff you can share to kind of announce it. But
Yeah.
technically, they're in our little link tree thing on our Instagram right now. They're on the Facebook link right now, so you can go and buy them. We just haven't done a big push. And in terms of like the player announcements and stuff, we're still barely dipped our toe in the water with how many people. Like the backlog of these like player spotlight posts we're doing, which is basically like once somebody has paid up, sent us all their photos, the little bio and stuff, we whack them straight out there. We've got a backlog of like 20 people still.
Wow.
That somebody has to sit there and mock up.
Who's just joined, I'll get him on in a sec. He said the way you've staggered who's in has only built up the hype, which is cool. But let me just bring him in.
Yeah, do it.
Good evening, SJ. Hello, mate.
Good evening. How we doing?
Yeah, good, man.
Yeah,
How are you? You look. Where are you?
I've
home?
just moved again. I'm moving like all the time. So I'm permanently in Hayes now. A beautiful Hayes. Shit up, to be honest. So I try not to go outside that much. But, no, but I think we spoke a bit about it, George. Like, it is class. I think what you're putting together. I think it is something that I think has got legs to last for a long time. I think the cash reward thing is really, it almost spices it up a lot, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, these are people that are in essence paying for money. For that final game, that is going to be the absolute nuts. Someone's going home with $2,000. Obviously, they got to split it between everyone on the team. But
but it's event one, man. The pot will eventually get really, really fucking big. This is the idea.
Yeah.
Like, because we've had so many startup costs, which is like even registering like a limited company, getting bloody tap card machines, the jersey costs, Arrival Athletic, who I'm obviously giving a nice plug for today. All of this kind of stuff costs a lot of upfront money, especially because it's 128 jerseys and not all the same jersey as well. It's different designs technically.
So you got 8 teams, right?
Yeah, so like some of the other stuff, you have no clue how much it costs until you really dive in there, and then you realize that like, oh, actually you're getting your ambulance, that's going to be $1,000, but you need 2 physios, then the venue is going to be however much, then you've got to go pay for your liability insurance, and then this and that. Like, it does referee costs and stuff like that. Like, I think this is costing us like $7-8 to run for the first one, because the jersey costs and stuff are in there. And we also, I think we underpriced the entry fee by probably 10-ish quid as well. I think in hindsight, we should have made that 50 quid for players to enter instead of 40. But all it means is like next time we run this, which will probably be like maybe February or something like that, February, March, before the BAFA senior season, we'll whack the entry price up by 10 quid. We're going to have maybe $2.5 to $3 less costs, probably.
Yeah, because you've got costs that aren't going to repeat, are they? If once you've got jerseys, you don't need more. Buy them. So it's
and like you get more ticket sales, and going and picking up a sponsor. Like, once we go and mash up all of these clips from the dozen odd videographers and the good film crews and stuff like this, once all of that stuff goes out, all it takes is one sponsor to just give us like even like £2,000 or something, which is a lot of money, but it isn't, if you know what I mean. But if that just immediately goes into that prize pot, and then we've dumped the entry fee up by 10 quid over the 128 players, and we've got like 3-4, like however much less to actually spend, suddenly we can drop like £5,000 on that prize pot. And then at that point, people are taking a train over that. I mean, we already have some people that are doing that, just to be clear. The odd random guy is taking a flight and hopping on a Eurostar. But we might get like a fully French team. You might end up with like Amsterdam or
really
Paris
cool.
down just to go just split some wigs in London for like an afternoon, you know, and that'll be class. So that's where I think we can get to. But we just got to get this first one off the ground, prove it can happen with this volume of people. Production, you know, definitely stuff will go wrong on the day, but if we can just get games played in good faith with that many people, I think we've done a pretty good job for the first one, to be honest.
Are you playing yourself, or are you tired now?
No, I mean, I'm still like loitering about, I guess. I'm 31, so I probably should just pack it in. No, but I don't know, just like you just get used to it. Like I've nearly done this for more years than I haven't since I've been alive. So it's quite weird to just suddenly like cut it. And then I'm like, oh, Wednesday, I'm just kind of like fluttering about, you know, got really nothing on. So no, I'm not playing right now. I have actually entertained the idea because it's like, weirdly, of all the positions, it's probably been the hardest to find. It's DBs.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so if any DBs are listening, can you fucking go and fill out our form, please? It's been really tough. Like I thought the things that would be really difficult, I thought like you're probably not going to get loads of O-line that can be asked to do this because you're going to be stuck on a 1v1 pass rush for like most of the day, which you might absolutely love. But
you're also an eligible receiver, aren't you?
You are.
So I think that's a massive massive difference, and I do want to get into the rules and the dimensions and stuff. I think it is an attractive proposition for any position because of the the way you structured it in the tempo of these games, and obviously as SJ said, you know, the prize fund. Also, you know, the fact that you've got such a media savvy or media friendly focus. I think that will help with this initial one, but it will pay off dividends with future ones. You know, you were talking about the post-event stuff, people posting videos, people posting clips, you know, and that's not just the videographers, that's not just the photographers. That will get picked up by friends, family, players. You know, like the reach of this content is going to be enormous. And that is attractive to players, right? Like there's a narcissism that players have got that I want to make, you know, I want to make a big play, and I want everyone to see that play, you know, and so you know what you're doing, and the type of tournament gives these elite players, you know, the top, the all decent level players, an opportunity to get. To have a really good platform to show off a little bit as well, and it's also I think it's a bit of fun as well. Like the pressure's off, right? Like, yeah, you want to win, and like so there's a level of competition there, absolutely, but I don't think it's as serious as playing for your regular
Brit Bowl or something. Yeah, no. I completely get what you're saying. We've actually had that feedback like along the line. So like you kind of said, like £2,000, it is a decent whack of money, like albeit because it's coming out of our pockets to start with. But like once you split that up between 16 players, it's like 125 quid each or something. Like it's not a crazy amount, but it's the concept that people are like really buying into, where it's like, no, I'm gonna, you know, it's like it's not even gambling because they pay their entry fee, and we've had someone accuse us of that. Interestingly, we're like, well, it's obviously not gambling, is it? But it's dragged people out of the
legal
woodwork.
Perspective, it can't be considered gambling because it's a game of skill that you've got control over.
Yeah.
So a gamble is when you can't control the outcome.
I thought this was on Bet365. That's
no, it's been funded by that.
he's on Bet365, that would be right, because pundits can't control the outcome, the players can, but the players are paying in. So don't let people try and reframe that stuff and make you sound bad.
No, we
gambling always gets like a bad rap, but I love it. I love
yeah, it's great. I can't stop. It's great.
Yeah.
No, but it's we have had that. We've had people trying to accuse us of being a professional event as well, which is interesting. It's like,
yeah,
well, no, obviously not. Like, what are you talking about? I'm working a desk job. I don't leave this desk.
No matter what you do in Britball, you'll always have people who are who try to take you down, that try and find something wrong with it. I actually think sometimes some of that comes from jealousy. Someone had an idea that they talked about with someone and never actually did anything. But just all I can say is someone that's sort of been involved in the community and built something quite big. Just ignore it and carry on as you were.
I don't care.
Every person person that says something, vocal minority hater, you've got 10 silent lovers, right? So just focus on the love, because I mean, I feel that even if let's say in 2-3 years time you've run 5 events, you'll still get people and you've got 10 grand prize fund or whatever.
Yeah.
You'll still get people saying weird stuff, and you're like, what? I don't understand it. And you can't ever let that factor into your thing. You just got to chuckle at it and move on.
No, and I'm fine with that. Like, I'm really not asked. Like, to be honest, as long as the players leave and they're like, you know what, that was fucking awesome. I had a lot of fun, and even if they don't win, right? And obviously, there's only one out of 8 teams are going to win. But when they leave and they get to see some professional mashed up videos of them dunking on some corner in the end zone, they're not going to care if it was a 57 loss, but that was the only TD. They're going to be like, oh, that was fucking awesome. That was mint. And they've got that, that's theirs for life, and it's going to look really good.
Yeah.
The fact that we have the small-sided format, and I know you kind of wanted to get onto this, the actual, because we haven't actually published loads of this information, and this is one of the things it's one of the big motivators for me to actually speak to you and get on here, is that we've not really told anyone how anything works.
No.
We just keep dropping these players this guy's going to turn up. Yeah, we got, Pemberton's going to rock up, and then suddenly Lewis Thomas is here, and then we've got Jamal Fred. We've just dropped people, just said they're involved in this tournament, but we haven't actually said what the field dimensions are. We haven't said the rules. I don't think we've said how long each game is.
No,
nothing.
And I don't want to you to talk about something that you're not ready to. But I would love to hear as much as possible about that stuff. If you're okay talking about it,
ask away.
Tell me about the game. Tell me about the gameplay. Quarter lengths. Whatever stuff you want to share. Again, I don't want to ask a leading question because I know a lot of it, right?
No, it's well, to be fair, actually, SJ, sorry, we've invited you in for a chat, and we've just left you here in the haze, which you hate.
SJ's just enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's having a good time. Likes to be involved, doesn't he?
Actually, did you have a question? I know you said
I did. To be fair, a lot of them.
Oh fuck! Sorry, mate.
No, it's fine, mate. I'll just answer a couple. I'll ask a couple of them, and then I'll leave you guys to it. So you've got it obviously at Hertfordshire. I guess what was the decision making behind choosing there? And I guess if it goes well, would you move it around elsewhere? Would there be other places you look to take it? Almost
that is a great question, actually. So the one thing I will say, finding a venue is probably the biggest fucking pain in the arse.
Yeah, you were busting your balls to find a venue.
Mate, unbelievable. We tried to go up to New River and do it, but New River decided that they aren't open for as long as we want them to be. So realistically, we need to get there on the actual date, set up at about 8 a.m.
Yeah,
if not earlier, but early, right? Because we want to play the first game at 10:30. And then the last game is going to probably start about 4:30, ideally earlier, but we're allowing an hour per game with a little bit of a break.
Right.
New River just weren't open for that long. They just said no, even though we're literally a stadium that will have nothing else going on. You have to leave by 4. And I was like, well, that's not useful. stupidly expensive. We looked to go to like the Marathon Stadium in like Stratford by West Ham, like the Olympic Stadium.
Mhm.
That would have been absolutely mint. The prices were okay, but then we had to wait ages because they were deciding if like West Ham games being televised or not would then mean they can't do it.
Yep.
So loads of problems. Our like ideal spot was always going to be kind of like north to west of London around the M25, probably, or like really central so people can get in. Because if we went and did this like at Greenwich or Selhurst, like where the Warriors are, you're making people from like Manchester, Bristol travel miles for this. And I just think that's completely unreasonable. And then also for the fans as well, because these are the people that in the end, hopefully, would contribute the most revenue. So location was always a massive, massive thing for us. We wanted to make it very easy, or as easy as possible, for people to get towards a London-based venue, because that's where most of the players are coming from. I think probably 6 out of the 8 teams right now are very heavily London-based. So that's going to help them bring their sort of like fans, friendly, girlfriend, whoever the hell it is. They're going to come down, hopefully. It's easier for the players. And then if you're coming from, like west of England, like we have a couple of Bristol guys involved, coming from the Midlands, coming from Manchester, you're not having to go through London to get to it. So that location was really big. The other things we liked, we ended up settling on grass because we wanted to be able to paint lines on the pitch. Because if you've ever played on like a 4G pitch that has about 20 different lines on it, it's a fucking nightmare. And then if it gets to like, I would have stayed in bounds or toe tapped right here when 2 grand was on the line, but I didn't realize which line it was. That becomes a big problem, right? So that was also really big. And then to be honest, we played against Hearts, whenever it was, I don't know, a couple of months ago, we played against Hearts away. And I just thought, this is actually cracking. Like, what a good little venue this is.
Great venue there.
Tons of space there.
You had a bar, plenty of changing rooms, car park, 10 minutes away from a train station, so you can bus or Uber from there really easily. You had somebody flipping burgers after the game, chips, that kind of thing. Like, just felt like proper old school, like end of season football, rugby tournament type vibes there. Where we could just get everything done. They've been really, really accommodating as well, like absolutely fantastic. Got to say a big thank you generally just to anyone involved in Hearts Cheaters, because we've been using those connections to get stuff done and get it sealed. And one of our organisers actually used to be their OC, Will Spark. So that's the only reason we've been able to pull this off. So they've made it very easy and they've given us a lot for our money. Like, we think the value is great. And then also we have like a film tower thing that they can do, which is not above this like crazy 5-meter limit that every liability insurer seems to go mental about. It's under that, thankfully. Howdens.
5 meters is pretty high. You usually get a tower about 3 meters is like the best, a good height. So.
Don't know. I've never had to think about it, but
yeah.
Either way, but they have a film tower we can use, so we can actually get like a really good view to stream and stuff like that, and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of everything I can say about the venue. To be honest, it just ticked every box: location, people, price, and they've actually gone the extra mile really to give us all the little extras that made a big difference.
Did you have another question, SJ? You said.
No, that was it. That was it, really. I mean, you said about going elsewhere if it goes well. Is that what you're doing as well, or do you think maybe the first couple of times keep it where it is and keep it safe? I guess.
So mixed on that, really. I think once you scale the prize pot, the higher that prize pot goes, the more willing people are to travel. So it does open the door a little bit. If we were just to like lob this in Edinburgh, for example, we know that nobody's taking a flight for it and booking a hotel. It's just too much. Seasonal, like depending on like the seasons, if we get into like March, like February time, where we probably want to run T2, do we want to be on grass for that? Probably not. Because like the risk that it gets iced over, rained off, it's probably too much. We'd probably have to look at a seasonal venue. So maybe Hearts becomes our venue for every like summer, autumn kind of event or something like that. And then we need to find like a seasonal friendly event in, that kind of like February, March time somewhere like Brunel, I quite like the idea of, but the issue is you need to have like a decent enough spectator experience. And to be honest, given the fact we pulled this together in about 2 months, there just isn't the time to go venue hunting and look at, you know, how many people can we get around there. So not against moving it around. I think as the price pot goes up, we could use different places. Like we went away to Bristol Aztecs the other day to their venue. Like that was fucking awesome. Like that would be amazing for this.
Shaftesbury Stadium is lovely.
Yeah, no, I actually loved that. I thought that was unbelievable. Brilliant. There's a lot of envy there. You know, I don't know what the food situation is, but bar enough seats that it's not like ludicrous and it feels empty. You can get all the way around the outside of it, so people can stand and just, you know, lean on the fence. I thought that was unreal.
Decent car park, easy, really easy to get to. You know,
free car park as well. You don't get out in London.
Yeah.
So I definitely wouldn't be against that as a venue, but we have to be able to set that prize pot high enough that people are going to be willing to make that drive.
Yeah.
So to be honest, whoever the hell runs that venue, if you happen to be listening, keep a Saturday open in February or March. That would be great. I really like that. So yeah, we're open to moving around, but it's all about the players, and it's always going to be about the players. And also, and to be fair, the spectators as well. Like if we can only get 10 people willing to watch down there, it's a bit pointless. You miss kind of like the buzz and the atmosphere
and the revenue.
Well, yeah, main thing, because that funds off the prize pot, right? You know, like we're not doing this out. It's like some crazy cash grab where I'm skimping on every penny because I want to make fucking like 500 quid or something. Like quite frankly, the amount of hours we're putting into this isn't worth the money. Like it just isn't. But like actually doing something that gets like the best players in BAFA in a single place. And when I say in BAFA, I don't actually mean like I'm desperate for people that are playing BAFA National League to come together, because we've got like guys that are like GFL, ELF, like all of these kind of guys playing, loads of imports. We just want really good football, really good athletes to be playing against each other in the UK, where we know there is like a hotbed of talent. That's all we're trying to do here. So to be honest, like this, certainly at this stage where like we're just trying to get it off the ground for the first 5+ tournaments, I couldn't care about like profit margins and squeezing every penny. So because otherwise, like what we're doing, like we'd be self-reffing every game, we'd be wearing t-shirts with numbers drawn on them and felt it biros. Like it would just be so unbelievably just like it's Brexit tournament. I'm just not interested in doing it. Like it's just no point. So yeah, it's gonna have to be about like the commercials eventually, but not really right now.
Cool. Right, well, I'll leave you both to it. No, cheers. Thanks for having me on in there. Good to see you both.
No worries.
Take care, mate.
Take care.
Yeah, so let's talk about the format, the rules.
Yes. Let's do it. So quite simply, it's really, really close to the BAFA 5's rules, which I think probably the people that would have played it are going to be guys that are like in really, really junior football. So I think under 16s might play it. And then maybe...
I think it's 11s that play 5. I think it's 16s play 9s.
But I think this is... I might even be wrong here, and this is why I'm probably the wrong guy with the law. But I think it's like, depending on which division you're playing in, you play bigger-sided games. So I think like Associate might be lower or something. Because I've definitely seen some like random clips of like youth teams where it's like 16 to 19-year-olds playing like 5s or 6s or something. But either way, and I know as you work through the women's leagues as well, where I've seen more of the small-sided stuff, they play different formats. But it's 5-on-5. The pitch is definitely smaller, so we're looking at, I think we're going to settle on 30 yards wide, and then 70 yards long, and that includes like the back of the end zone to the back of the end zone.
How big is the end zone? 10 yards?
10 yards. Right. Yeah, we thought about shortening it, but to be honest, that was more of a venue decision than a gameplay decision, and Hearts just has so much bloody space. We're totally fine. But any competent QB, and like obviously we're not letting in, if people are terrible, like we'll go find someone else. Like there's random dudes that have applied from like Europe that if we really just need a QB, we'll just pay the £100 to fly him over, like if we have to. So like, there's no way that your QB for this team isn't going to be able to throw the ball from end zone to end zone.
Gotcha.
Like he just will. So like, you're going to start in your own half on the 5-yard line. You've got 4 attempts to get into the other half. So it's not like a 10-yard move the chains kind of gig.
That's 25 yards, right? Half, because it's a 70-yard.
Yeah, 25, 70 yards,
okay, cool.
10, 25 a piece. So you need to average
25 basically.
6.5, 7 yards to carry.
Starting on your 5, you've got to go 20 yards to get to that other half, right?
Oh, yeah, from the 5. Yeah, you're right. And then once you get into that half, you've then got the same thing to do again. Within the 5-yard line, like within 5 yards of the end zone, there is actually like a no run zone, which is interesting. And this is quite normal.
To you about this.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not that's something we need to do or not, but that's the 5's rules that people know and are used to in this country. It does open up more pass plays. I think we're going to see some like quite interesting tactics where someone's, you know, on the 4 and then the QB just takes a knee just to make it 5, so you just go run power or something, or just run an I form with all of his D linemen and O linemen just on field, you know. I think we'll see stuff like that, but yeah, you're basically going to have an 8-down max drive before O&D flip. We've got rid of all specials because we just don't care. Like it's just not.
No. So yeah, just make this so you don't need uprights because
no posts,
no PATs, no field goals.
No,
and you're not going to punt, and you're not going to kick off.
Don't care. Yeah.
Just to make that clear, what we mean by no special. Literally, the kicking game is gone.
Complete no ball is being kicked deliberately. Like I do not care. There's no. I mean, look, it might have. I mean, to be fair, celebrations, and that's one thing is we can loosen up on the celebrations.
We'll probably see. I'm very excited about.
Yeah. We're going to see a few snow angels, probably a few Uzis get sprayed off. It's
grenades. The grenade ones.
Grenades, bowling. There's going to be some very, very choreographed celebrations, which will be quite fun.
Which again ties into the whole media thing, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, you and I discussed this stuff, but
like have fun with it. Like basically, the only rule in that is going to be like as long as you're not really like egregiously taunting.
Yeah.
Like if you go and like mimic letting off a spaz 12 in someone's face, like obviously that's not all right.
Yeah.
And like that's just like rude. So we're not going to let that fly. But anything else, if you want to go do bloody cartwheels and like go for it, have fun. Like that's the whole point, is just have fun. Like it's not going to be some ultra heavily officiated anything. Like we don't care if you turn up with like a dark visor or like knee pads. Or, like it's not about that. We're going to recommend that you have all of this stuff that's perfectly normal, but it's not going to be like mandated where someone's going to turn up and be like, that knee pad's not regulation, mate. You need to just fuck off. No, like no chance in hell. Like, it's just really care. Like, it just doesn't matter. Yeah.
Good. You're fixing all of the problems that I always. So just going back to the structure. So, touchdown 6 points, and then you get what, a 2-point attempt.
So you basically get either a 1 or a 2,
right?
And whether it's a 1 or a 2 depends on how far away you are from the end zone.
Okay.
So I'd have to double check the ruling because I'm more of like the bloody sales guy, which is hence why I'm here. But I'm pretty sure it's like from the 5-yard line it's a 1, and then from the 10-yard line it's a 2. I'm pretty sure it's that. So from that 5-yard, you can obviously run it.
Clock management. How many timeouts do you get? What's the
good shout?
Minutes in a quarter? Is it?
So no quarters. We're looking at just 2 halves, 15 minutes per half.
Right.
So it's pretty short. It's running clock for those 15 minutes, apart from like the 2-minute warnings of each half, and then it's like normal clock management. So the game should go a lot quicker. I'd like to think that we don't see absolute. I mean, to be honest, based on the talent, we're not going to see like one-sided hammerings.
No.
Like because otherwise, simply, I've just not done my job, and if we do think that's the case, then next time we do this, we'll maybe just make it 6 teams instead of 8 if a couple of people get dicks. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Like you said, you're going to have teething things, and there's going to be unforeseen stuff and stuff that you might be able to see, but you've just got to go with it and see how it plays out. But yeah, you do want to have competitive games. You know,
it's the whole point. Otherwise, you waste time.
Anyone that's put money in will be like, well, I want to win, and I want the best team. You've also got to think about the appeal of the entertainment that you're creating.
Yeah, exactly that. So it'll go to like normal clock management. Each team has a timeout to use per half. The 2-minute warning will stop the clock as it normally does. Overtime rules are pretty damn normal. I'd have to go and dig out the document to decide exactly how to get it.
Because it's a tournament. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the overtime stuff. So formation wise, right? Normally with lower number or smaller side, I think you've called it smaller side.
Small side of things,
There's all sorts of different rules. Who's eligible on the offense?
So literally anyone is eligible.
Yeah.
The only real rules you have to think about from an offensive perspective, you need to have 2 people on the line on any given play.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, one of them is always going to be the center, right? So you basically need a receiver or another lineman on the line.
Yeah.
Then that's it. Motion ruls are normal, one at a time. You know, not moving
Nothing
forward.
Towards the line of scrimmage.
No, it just think a standard 11s rules for most of these things. The only thing we're going to see that's like a major gameplay differentiator is that the QB can't just catch it and just take off scrambling and run upfield.
Right.
So
D. Williams.
Yeah.
And Calvin, they're both out now. That's it.
Calvin, yeah, we got. I mean, mate, got fucking Ash Bailey. He's in as well. Fuck, I haven't actually posted him yet, so I shouldn't have said that. But he's in. There's a lot of. This is a good format for a running QB, and we've got a few guys that are going to have. Are going to be would like to be scrambling, but no.
Are there any circumstances where the QB can take off, like if they're blitzed? Like what's the?
So they're basically, unless you can only run with the ball if it's been handed off to you. Right. So if the QB is going to go take that snap and then they hand it off to a running back, they can't like make the decision to pull it and go. Like that doesn't exist. So you'd have to hand it off to the running back and he'd have to like flea flicker it back to you and then you could take off.
Yeah.
Or you know, like, and it doesn't matter like what number you are, eligibility. Like if they direct snap to the running back and just give it to the QB, and then D. Williams wants to take off, he can do that.
Yeah,
like, he can take a handoff, but he can't just catch the snap and go.
Receives snap, regardless of their position, cannot go past the line of scrimmage.
Not unless they do some bullshit, throw it to someone, then it gets given back to them. Yeah.
No, but whoever took that ball first can't run beyond the line of scrimmage. Is essentially what you're saying.
Yeah, unless they hand it off and then someone gives it back to them. Yeah. So pretty much that you're not running forward with a direct snap. So
they catch it, hand it off, and then get it back, and then they run.
No, yeah, like juggling it or something. No, like so inevitably we're going to see some mad bullshit, like because people are just having too much fun with it. I've already seen them talking about doing some ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the bit I'm really looking forward to. Is a bit of fun play, you know, out of the ordinary stuff, and I'm expecting some really creative stuff, right? Because this is atypical, right? This isn't normal structured rules, and because of that, you can be a little bit more creative. But that also begs the question, which I've never asked you actually: are the teams going to have head coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators? Like, how's that going to work?
So it's really, really, really strongly recommended that you bring a coach.
Right.
We're not forcing anyone to do that.
Yeah.
Because realistically, like if you go and watch like flag tournaments and stuff, quite a lot of time you'll see like the QB there with a risk coach, and he'll just be like, I'm deciding what the play is, and he'll just get it done. And then if you wanted to play at safety defense, you're going to get people that are just going to run man every play, and they're just going to adjust dynamically. You know, like okay, if they're not a 2-0 lineman, you go down. They'll agree their stuff. We're not forcing you to have any coach or anything. If you have a coach, which a few people have, and it's pretty damn sensible, we think you should. We're also not forcing you to split the prize pot with them. I personally think because the coaches just stood there calling plays and really they're getting a good view for most of the day, they're a bit cheeky to ask.
You're leaving it up to them to decide.
I'm leaving it up to
The
them.
coaches
Yeah,
aren't paying entry fee, are they? I'm assuming.
no, we are. They are paying a little bit of an entry fee because otherwise you'd get every fucker claiming to be a coach and they wouldn't be paying anything.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Otherwise, and then the issue we have is if we made it the same price as the ticket, you would get 5 of them, 10 of them, 20 of them stood there on the sideline with the best view in the house,
Yeah.
not actually doing anything, getting in all the photos because every team has their own photographer.
Yeah.
The media people need to be able to move around, and we just can't have it clogged up with people that are there just to fuck about, really.
Mhm.
So we've made it a very reasonable 20 quid for the coaches.
Right.
There is absolutely no obligation with any of the teams to split it with them, but you can if you want. Do what you want, but pretty much the money is probably going to go into just the team captain, who's kind of like the nominated team captain.
Yeah.
He can divvy it up, or because everyone pays us directly anyway, we'll just go bang, 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 and just dump it in all the players' bank accounts if that's what they agree to do. So, yeah, no obligation to have to really do anything other than turn up. We've set the max roster size at 16 because we wanted it to be, again, fair. We didn't want this so deep that you just end up with 40 people all paying, and also the cash prize becomes too small to split
It just
up.
dilutes it. Yeah.
The only real thing we did have is actually we kind of decided that you probably needed a minimum of 14.
That's what I was about to ask. That was my next question. So it's
Mm.
between 14 and 16 players per team.
Yeah, I mean, look, if somebody rocks up with 13, we're not going to be really anal about it and be like, no. But we're recommending it because at the end of the day, a lot of people haven't played this kind of football. We don't see 5v5s ever with grown men, so we don't know necessarily how this might go. Is it going to be, way less hitting because the passing's better and it's just deep balls going over the top the whole time? Or are you going to see a team rock up with 4 offensive linemen, 0 receivers?
Yeah, exactly. Go like a heavy set.
They're just going to fucking pound the rock all day.
Yeah.
And you've rocked up with 250 kg corners.
That's what I'm
It's going to get rattled. Yeah.
That's what I was saying about, that's what I really like about this. You could absolutely put on a heavy set crew, for that play, force the team to take a timeout because they haven't, because they know they can't defend against it. But that just the fact that you could have that in your armory, I think that's attractive to linemen. Because now they, all right, you be the running back for this one, mate. You can carry the ball. I think it's really. Oh, you can turn around and catch the ball. You can snap it.
No, I love it. I
just think there's so much that it breaks the traditional mold of gameplay, and I think I don't think that you'll see the best plays and the best tacticians in this first tournament. I think over the years that you do this, hopefully, fingers crossed, that you continue. I think people will get better and better from a tactical perspective.
You will.
Really, really exciting. I think it's exciting anyway. Don't get me wrong, but I think we'll start you'll start to really be able to analyze. Oh my god, look at what they thought of doing, or they come up with a trick play or whatever.
It's a whole legit format. It really is. Because the way that I've kind of found this works for actually getting the teams off the ground is I physically have to be in the group chat, encouraging people to go get a mate, go get a corner, go get a cube, and bolt them in, and then the coaches come in. So I have actually really good visibility of just how everyone's doing and stitching stuff together.
Cool.
And we have teams that definitely, I mean, again, you've seen the posts and you can probably guess who's in what team, even though we're not full on dropping it.
You've listed a couple teams, captains and players.
Just the captain.
A couple, but not many. Yeah, I went through them all. It's funny. I've got to tell you this. I was prior to this meeting. I was going through all of the announcements you'd made and all the players and clicking on their profiles and just looking through their histories, where have they played before? I fucking liked an old picture of Tonye. I was like, shit.
Yeah, that's right. We've all done that before. Hopefully not with Tonye.
He's all been there. Coming his way. I was like, bollocks. Anyway, so I thought I'd share that with you because that's hilarious. But yeah, I was looking through and there's D. I didn't realize how long D had been involved in Britball and the teams he played. The teams he's played for and what he's won. I never realized that until I'd sort of gone through his profile. And I think sharing some, like you said, you've got bios for the players. I think actually, I'm not trying to tell you what to do for your social media stuff, but I actually think that people will find that interesting.
Post more.
Just little background pieces of where people have played and how long they've been involved, and because it was it was quite good going through and having a look at those just the players you've posted, because I don't know anymore. I haven't.
No, there's a little coming, but we've kind of done it deliberately because eventually there will be like once we've got everyone fully locked in for the tournament, it will be like, this is Team Outlaw, this is Team Phantom, this is Team Reaper.
Oh, that's going to be of course. Yeah, well, do you know what I was thinking more about was like the jersey reveal. Also, the squads is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's more important. Like no one cares about the jerseys that much, but
I do.
I mean, look, a lot of time and effort have gone into those bastardized AI jerseys, but they look pretty good. I've got a sample. It looks pretty good.
16 player squads. Those posts are going to just blow up. All of them. All of those posts are going to blow up because everyone. I mean, I'll engage with all of them. I think that's really exciting stuff. There's actually a question in the chat that I usually don't bother with them on this podcast, but I will on this one because it is something I was going to ask you about. How many open spots have you got? How many more players do you need?
That is a great question. So this is going to sound really bad, but we've had quite a few, because we're like still quite small, right? And if you look at even like our follower count, we've got like 9.5.
Yeah, you're just under
950 or something like that. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that haven't got a fucking clue we exist. And like, even because we've got like our pre-sign up form that people can go onto, we're still seeing people like yesterday that I was like, fucking hell, because they post like their experience in the form.
Yeah,
they'd be like, that guy's been to like 3 junior colleges. Like, what's he doing here? Yeah, so there's a lot of talent that's still popping up, and I would still say, no matter who you are, if you actually think you're like legit and you're a good player and you're the standard, that you should be getting a look in with GB. Someone from EU, you could probably play in like GFL 2 or above, like that kind of level of guy. Or you'd go to like one of the best Prem teams if you live there and you'd be a useful player for them. You should drop an application in if you're willing to play, because people will get injured in their games and drop out. We're obviously still in the process of like collecting payments and stuff, and until you've paid, you don't go up on the board. Like all those spotlight people are like fully locked in, paid. So
that's a good approach, mate, especially with we all know the fabled Britball situation where people play season after season for a team without paying subs, and then they're not able to transfer because they owe so much. And I think you want to. I think that approach, that sort of strict way of managing the cash flow is clever.
It's more so just to like not make us like look stupid. Like when we had like DM3, for example, like David Moore III, the guy that is like the 3rd highest rusher in Colorado high school history.
I saw him. Yes. I saw a little. It must have been a post he done where he's got like Christian McCaffrey.
Some other bloke,
the other person was in the 3rd one, and he was 3rd.
DM3. Yeah, and he's like a fucking monster. But like, if we went and posted that guy was like definitely in, and then he doesn't turn up, and we have to like then go delete it, it just doesn't look legit. Like it just looks really like it just looks really dodgy. And to be honest, we just don't need to lie. Like we have so many players that actually have like legit profiles, decent followings. People know they've got good ability. That we don't gain anything from like bullshitting and claiming like this guy's probably coming. Like we just don't need to. Like, again, like I said, we're a backlog of like 20 people that we can't find the time to make the posts for at the moment. We have no shortage of good players, and we're not going to. But sorry, to actually like wind it back to what we're actually talking about. But if you're only finding out about this now, just apply, because until like that final day, people are not fully locked in. Someone will get injured, someone won't turn up, someone that says they're going to pay next week is not going to pay next week. So keep the applications coming, because if you're good, you will end up on a squad. Like we've already seen people get cut. I've been in these group chats and I've just seen like
teams.
They've been in teams. It's happened a few times. Like I can't lie, it's quite ruthless, but
Yeah,
it's people are trying to put on a good product, and
it's
suddenly
good.
it's like
Good that they're taking it
we
seriously like that, man. But
hmm,
yeah,
no, and it is rough, but it's like basically until you've actually paid up, it is open season because you're just joining a group on Instagram means absolutely nothing. It does not mean you're definitely going to be there, definitely committed. You can
Mm,
just like lurk in the shadows and not say anything. And like when we're saying like, oh mate, can you pay? It's been payday, and you don't, then it's like, right, well, if I wait another month, then suddenly I've got to find like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players for this team.
yeah,
So like you're a fucking grown adult. There are some people that are
yeah,
like a bit younger and whatever, so you allow them and you give them a bit more of a space. But for the majority of people in this tournament, they're grown men. Like
mm,
it's 40 quid. Pay up. Like if you're not like there's not many people that are going to struggle to lob 40 quid up. And if you
yeah,
don't have the cash, that's fine. But just communicate. It's no big deal. So
mm,
there are people that still haven't paid yet, and they can get chopped. That's just how it is.
mm,
Because we've got a tournament to run. If we suddenly rock up with 6.5 teams because we've just left it alone, like
yeah,
then we're fucked. The whole concept's ruined. We're having to fund this completely ourselves as well. You have to remember. So like, if suddenly 2 teams don't turn up, whatever the hell 16 quid time, oh sorry, 16 players times 40 quid is times 2. That's a lot of money that I'm having to lob out my bank account. That Josh
mm,
is, that Will is, and we have other shit going on. Like we're not like some King Midases that sat here like some Kersey level antics where we've got like 5 cars in Vegas or anything like that.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
we like we all work in a fucking office. Like we're like normal blokes trying
yeah,
to put on some fun. So yeah, we just can't afford for like those kind of risks. So
yeah,
yeah, keep applying because believe me, if you're a good player, someone will either pull out and you'll get in because you'll go top of our little free agent power ranking, which we definitely don't reveal. And it has been very, very successful for getting players onto teams because somebody is like, oh, I need no lineman. And I'll be like, oh, I've got a good guy for you. Yeah, you're going to
mm,
be happy with this. They lob a bit of film over. Half the time, they don't even need the film because they know who the hell they are.
yeah,
So yeah, keep the applications coming because if it's not right now, I mean, to be honest, I'd be surprised if you're really that legit. Like, I will find a space for you on a team somewhere and be
mm,
like, look, this guy's played Potsdam Royals for 3 years in a row at receiver. You probably want him in over whoever it may be,
yeah,
and that's just honest. But that's it's called Elite Fives, not Participation Fives.
yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it is what it is. Sorry. Like,
No, no. Well, exactly, and when you explain that, like I said, the conception of it, like where it came from, it makes sense.
hmm.
Like to have that approach. Um, is there anything else about the rules that you wanted to share? Refereeing. Talk about refereeing.
So I guess the defensive rules are maybe the way to go.
Yeah.
Refereeing is the refereeing. Despite the fact that we're not doing stuff under BAFA,
Mm,
we have managed to find really good, competent referees
good.
that are willing to set up and do it. So we haven't had like the full calls of them yet, but we've got a list of names, and we are very, very appreciative of what they're doing because if they didn't officiate it, and like most of these guys are pretty impartial to the teams involved as well, which is a really big thing for us. It would have just been my dodgy mates, and
Yeah.
then suddenly on a money tournament that doesn't work. So we're very lucky at that, but we can move on from it. Defensively, D lineman is the only person that can cross the line of scrimmage on a pass play.
Yeah.
Like deliberately, we mean like if you're pressing up a receiver and you go past the line of scrimmage, go
Yeah.
for it. Like drive him off the field.
Yeah. As
I
in like
don't care.
pursuing the quarterback or pursuing
Yeah.
the backfield. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if on a pass play, D lineman always lines up heads up on the center,
Mhm.
3-point or 4-point stance, because that actually just because of like the hand placement and stuff. If you're snapping and a guy's just ready to immediately, so it's just a bit fucked. So that's the general rule.
Mhm.
Otherwise, don't think there's anything. We got rid of the blitzing rule because we just felt it was going to overcomplicate stuff for the officials and
What was the
people.
blitz rule where they have to put their hand up
Oh,
and say they're
yeah,
going to
it's
blitz?
fucking garbage. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just looks a bit dumb. And for a spectator, you're then like, why is someone? Oh god, that's
Yeah.
bad. Why is someone stood here to got Elon Musk on? Why is someone stood here with the hand up, playing Kanye in the background? No, why someone stood there with the hand up from like 8 yards off, and then like, oh, are they 8 yards off or were they 6? And then we throw a flag. It's just shit. We want to see 1v1s all over the field. Let's go get some monster D linemen against some of the best offensive linemen we can find.
Mhm.
Let's see what Jamal Fredericks versus Lewis Thomas looks like.
Mate, I know.
Go,
That's exactly
boom.
I'm hoping they play against each other. I don't know what. Obviously, the teams.
Yeah, I'm trying to be honest. We've had so many players come in. We are trying to like align the league so it's interesting matchups and obviously competitive as well. Like we're not going to have like some super strong division and then the crap division. We're trying to make it as even as possible in some kind of power rankings.
Yeah.
We did, when we initially set this up, we did think about like some kind of commercial story to try and like get 2 teams in the final, because that would be like the most. But there are just too many strong teams that it just doesn't work. It ends up being like just everyone, to be honest, because it's like even some of the teams that don't necessarily have what we would consider an 11s, like the best pound for pound athletes, we know they know how to play 5s.
Yeah.
And like actually really know how to play 5s. So I think we're going to see some upsets. I think we're going to see players with a lot more space than they're used to, and a lot of 1v1s where you're probably going to see a few people get exposed. But maybe they play for a good team, but they're playing in a good team next to 3, 4, 5 of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're getting put on skates by someone that they've never heard of, or some geezer that, again, just someone you've never heard of that's just been chilling out in Germany or something. Like we dropped Bav today, for example. Like he's been out of Dresden, and I've seen his tape, and it's like pretty fucking good. But I didn't know who this guy was. I've never heard of him in my life, and he's just gone from like Birmingham Uni straight out there, and he's like,
that's right. I saw. Yeah, I looked at
rapid,
his one
mate.
as well.
Yeah, he's quick, and he in 5s in that space. Like I hope he takes his electrolytes on the day, because he's going to need them. I don't think he's going to have much of a break.
Yeah.
Serious player. So yeah, we're going to see some really, really interesting football with some very, very good athletes. But outside of that, I don't think there's any weird rule changes or anything.
So that, thanks for that. You did mention earlier live streaming. Who's live streaming, and how's that going to work for so many games?
So to be honest, it's a pain in the arse at the moment. Live streaming, we're not sure if we actually want to do it.
Oh, right.
So it is something that we thought about, do we want to do it or not? First of all, it's a load more equipment, it's a load more admin, it's a load more stuff to manage. I also do really wonder how much value there is, because we have 2 games going at the same time. A live stream can only really cover one at a time, unless we go really professional with it, red zone style. And we did speak to like Onside and Cheers Mate and people like this, but it's just too expensive. Like we're running this at a loss anyway. Like I'm already.
It's definitely something for the future, though. Like once you've got money coming in, because those guys will be awesome at it.
Sure, yeah, but it's going to be sponsor driven. Like, is a sponsor going to pay for that live stream? And if they do, are we going to lose out on 10 tickets, 50 tickets, 100 tickets? Then what damage does that do to what we're going to go put on YouTube that's going to be really professional on a TikTok? Like, I just don't know if there's commercial value in it.
I mean, that's a good point. Right? However, there's nothing stopping you from doing a ticketed live stream. You know, £2 or whatever. Because I think, especially where you've got people with coming over from Europe, and people, you've got like some Americans playing. Like, I know from Gretzinger, live stream Gretzinger game.
Load of his
mates. Always gets people from California watching. His family mostly, but people he knows, and you know, and so there is a way. I think there is a way of potentially live streaming it, and just like a £2, like not nothing crazy, but that could be something that you look at. But but I do understand the mentality of, well, so you know, if we live stream it, it's people are less incentivized to be there and be there for the event, create the atmosphere. However, I think that your audience geographically is much bigger than
Yeah,
most
no,
people
it's good.
there.
It's a fair point. I think if we can commercialize it slightly, then yes, I think that would, it makes sense to do it. I mean, like theoretically, as long as we break even on what we think we've lost through ticket sales, the live stream is a great idea. But it's people have we've had loads of people approach us to do it, and pretty much everyone wants a few quid, and the answer is just we just don't have it.
Yeah.
Like, right, it's if we're already running at a loss, and the actual number is like we're probably eating about £1,000 of debt to do this out of our own bank accounts.
Yeah.
Which isn't again not a crazy amount of money between 3 people, but actually you think that we're just doing this just because we're nice. Like there's a lot of people that wouldn't bother putting a cash prize on, and however end up like much debt we take on, we're kind of basing that grand loss on ticket projections. But
Yeah.
if we don't sell any tickets, that whole cash prize is probably just coming straight out of our pockets for the
Yeah.
players, so like there's no way that anyone coming and asking for any money is getting anything, because we just simply do not have it. Not yet. Like give it next year, then we can sort of commercialize a bit more and do more professional stuff. But that's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is get a lot of really good football players in one place. We're very lucky that we have lots of photographers and videographers that are keen to help out and just do something cool. And to be
you
honest,
need people that want to partner with you, like a long-term partnership, don't you? That's what you need right now.
yeah. Any kind of sponsor that would pop up, and genuinely, I think if they could give kind of like 1,500 quid to £2,000 a tournament or something like that, that would be quite like revolutionary for what we're trying to do. We could scale up production, bump up prize pots. Players would definitely get a bit more for their money, and actually, to be honest, I think we're actually giving them a pretty good deal anyway. There's some stuff to come that we just haven't fully sorted out yet, but yeah, and then we can make it a far bigger deal, and we can look at using the Cheers Mate for the stream that will be able to do a red zone between the 2 pitches and stuff. Like, super cool, but
what they can do is unbelievable. They're so good.
Yeah, class. But just not yet. We're just not yeah. People are buying into a concept.
Right. We'll start wrapping it up. Is there anything else you wanted to share or put a point on?
To be honest, I don't really think so. I think it's just been more amazing how people have actually come together to get this done. People are traveling from all over the place. We've had loads and loads of shares. We've got, the Baffa guys, I know we didn't work out with them. They were unbelievably helpful in trying to get this off the ground and encouraging and supportive. We've had so many volunteers that are popping up from media guys that are kind of doing it, obviously, because they like to share their own stuff and get creative. But just the random guy that I coached with like 4 years ago that wants to help be a ball boy. Like people like that are so invaluable at the moment. So it's
it's awesome.
I guess it's just a broader thanks to the people that are doing this as like a help the community type exercise, because we'd be fucked without them. Like we wouldn't be able to run this without the volunteers. No way.
Okay. So in closing, plug how people can get involved. Where do they go? What do they do?
All Instagram. We do have like an Elite Fives Facebook group. All the links and stuff you need are in our Instagram account. We have a little link tree. Equally, get hold of my Instagram, message me. I'm more than happy to talk to people personally for as long as possible. I love procrastinating from my day job. Go for it. Like any questions you want to ask, go for it. And
those that just want to follow along and spectate and be fans, the Elite Fives. It's what's the name of the
Elite Fives football? I think that's all it is.
Elite Fives football. Yeah, the handle. I can't see it because I'm live streaming on.
No, it's all right. To be honest though, I need to actually look at what the hell it is myself. Yeah, just Elite Fives football on Instagram. Yeah, have a little follow. You'll see all the players.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more, mate. And we'll obviously Sport Tank will share whenever.
Bosh.
Whatever's deemed appropriate, we'll do.
That's all right. Yeah.
Cool. All right, bud. Well, thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
I'll catch up with you soon, mate.
Class. Love your stuff. Cheers, mate. Catch you later.